Well, I want to welcome you all and thank you all for being live with us today. Today's September 20th, 2018. And we want to welcome you to this week's Keys to Health and Happiness webinar featuring Dr. Peter Amato, founder of Harmony Mountain Institute for Living and natural health practitioner with over 25 years experience. Tonight, we're focusing on tomorrow's medicine today. Last week, we discussed wisdom in action. And the prior week, it was life, purpose, and spiritual connection. But tonight, we're going to talk about how to illuminate these topics by looking more deeply at our physical health and well-being and emotional health. Dr. Amato will discuss how he approaches the individuality of one's health with a mind, body, spirit, and environmental glean. He says, quote, as if peeling the layers of an onion, unquote, the uniqueness and layers of poor health must be addressed as if conducting an orchestra that leads to a beautiful symphony. He says, quote, my practices show me that underlying causes and conditions, root cause and symptoms, all have their own voice. And also a required amount of attention that's needed, and their own relationship to the whole of your health. The message they bring, how it's decoded, and the sequencing back to optimal health is the heart of my practice. Everyone is a story revealed, unquote. So welcome, Dr. Amato, and I really want to thank you for being with us today in your busy schedule. Please, where do we go from here?
Okay, well, thank you so much, Jake, and thank you all for joining us again this evening. So for most of you, as you know, each week we ask folks to develop an intention, like Jake had mentioned, and see if it manifests or becomes alive in your life from one week to the next. So please share on the chat if this is happening in your life and if your new intention is leading to any type of action or new behavior, a new thought. Actions and intentions become new behaviors. So are you creating new habits through intentionality? Or even learning through our weekly discussion that by getting quiet and listening to that still small, quiet voice within, that in itself can be a new beginning. You could start your life in any given round of the breath anew. Remember, your intentions are the aim that guides your actions. And I say that every week. Intentions are the aim that guides your actions. So let's start there. Let's get quiet, bubble up an intention, and become present right here, right now. So relax the eyes closed where you sit. Begin going inward, feeling the belly rise and fall. Relax the shoulders. Giving up your day, all your weight to the chair. Feel your upper legs pulsing, maybe your calves, your shins. Cool air at the nose, perhaps placing a half smile on your lips. Part the lips, please. And just breathe. Come into the now, the moment. Inhale through the crown, down to the base of the spine on the inhale. Exhale, the base of the spine, down the legs and out the feet. Like a clear and open channel. What is your intention? Joy without cause, breathing as one. Celebrating our group conscious, our gathering. Every time you slip off to a thought, an emotion, or a feeling, gently escort your mind back to the next inhale. Cool air at the nose. And with the half smile engaged, perhaps your intention seated or bubbled, gently allow the eyes to relax open in their own time.
Wonderful. Thank you, Peter. And I just want to welcome everybody who's jumped on in between that opening. I want to thank you all for being with us, and just remind you to chime in, please chat, share your experience with us this evening, and also, stay tuned and please hang with us. There's some wonderful offerings that we have throughout this session this evening. And so with that said, also I wanted to mention something, Peter, that if people are feeling stuck anywhere, or if you want to share what some of your health and wellness goals are, you can do that here. You can set those intentions. You can also write that, and we encourage you to do so. This is a like-minded, intentional community we're growing, and we welcome everybody to do that. And with that said, today we're having a unique, it's a broad topic, but this tomorrow's medicine today is the focus. And that's going to be our key objective and focus of today's Keys to Health and Happiness webinar. So Dr. Amato, last week you offered a discourse on turning wisdom into action. And tonight we're going to be talking about this topic of tomorrow's medicine today. Please connect the dots here. How do these topics connect, and how do they relate to each other as we get into the main body of our discussion tonight?
Absolutely, Jake, and thank you. And for those of you that have been on here for the 3 or 4 weeks, you might have been here when I talked about the central nervous system, the autonomic nervous system, regulation, blocked regulation, and how that plays into our health. And learning how to decode those blockages are part of the medicine that we offer. And then we got into levels of consciousness, meditation, wisdom, action. But tonight we're going to ground all that in what I do with patient clients, more in the physical realm of their health. So absolutely, Jake. Years ago, many of you recall the phrase, was bounced around. It was called mind, body, and spirit. Mind, body, and spirit. It was a slogan that still today, 25 years later and more, we understood it then as just some catch-all phrase of, oh yeah, we have a mind, we have a body, we have a spirit, but we must attend to these areas. That was true, but nobody really knew what that meant. I personally went off on a search to find out what it meant, and I'm here today to report back that we understand that our health pandemic, the epidemic that we're all living in, can have its roots in all 3 areas, the mind, the body, and the spirit. Well, today, unfortunately, we must include our environment, the environment in our home, in our surroundings, in our neighborhood, in our town, with all of the interactions with these pollutants and how they have realized in recent years how they affect our health. So how I initially approach testing a client is with a very advanced and accurate method of what we call muscle testing, where the formal name is applied kinesiology, long-standing. The art and science of muscle testing has taken our understanding of both root cause and symptoms, of ill health to a whole new level. This method is fairly quick, and it is amazingly accurate as a method of digging deeper and providing a more accurate path to choose, along with saving huge amounts of patient time and clients' money. So the chronic health conditions of many people today are becoming much more confusing and much more difficult to treat.
Mm-hmm.
Therefore, advanced muscle testing, which is what I learned, unique to every individual, so it's not really replicable or researchable, which I see as good news, is an extremely efficient way of evaluating the body's autonomic nervous system in determining chronic health issues. So with this method, we can identify the underlying core issues in our tissues, as well as learn about what we call hierarchy, the top to bottom layers of symptoms, along with all other stressors that could be evaluated. In our health diagnosis that include negative thoughts, destructive emotions, environmental allergies, sensitive dental problems such as incompatible dental materials, chronic infections, root canals, cavitations, geopathic stress, electromagnetic frequency stress from cell phone towers, microwaves, uninsulated power sources and wires. Because there are no two of us exactly alike, the treatment through the testing methodology will vary with each individual. So advanced muscle testing is very effective in helping the practitioner, who is me, to detect the uniqueness in each patient and help determine the most efficacious treatment plan for that person. So although the diagnosis might be very similar between patients, it's extremely rare that any two patients receive exactly the same treatment protocol. We're all clinically, genetically, socially, environmentally, and fundamentally unique. But there can not be no one pill, no one herb, no one tincture that is for everybody. Our testing regimen, I spend 2 hours with all new clients. And that is our initial test before I get even to any type of technology like the based biofeedback that I work with Jake on. So that's the beginning of how we address mind, body, spirit medicine for each unique individual through a testing methodology that goes through a hierarchy that then sequences the needs to peel the onion of that person in that moment.
That's amazing. I mean, how different is that than what many of us are used to? And just wow. I mean, this testing methodology, it sounds extremely accurate, but it's also customized to the individual to identify those root causes, Peter. That's what it sounds like to me. And I've gone through this with you, so I've actually personally experienced it. Because we are holistic and we're not just individual with one symptom. Holistic, you guys, the whole body. But let me ask you a question. Are you able to also test relationships with people's spouse or other family members too? I mean, how do you, please fill me in on that, because that's a question I had, Peter, that I thought you could maybe explain what that process looks like if you were to do that with not just the individual, but how they're relating to their other loved ones and family members.
Absolutely, Jake. It fascinates me as well to know that for 25 years I've been practicing and mirroring basically my work between the manual testing with muscle testing, applied kinesiology, as well as with the technology. For example, the SCIO, based biofeedback, and they mirror reflect each other in my findings.
Right.
The bottom line is that the autonomic nervous system acts at the level of the subconscious. So you could ask your body, a practitioner like myself could ask the body any question in the world and get a guaranteed answer of yes, no, true, false. Because the mind is not answering it, the body is not answering it, the subconscious is answering that. And that's the beauty in muscle testing. So very often, we do something called emotional trauma release, where we find that through energetic testing, that it is actually our relationships, it's our habits, it's our thoughts that bring anxiety, fear, etc.
Mm-hmm.
Oftentimes, when someone is not has block regulation in the beginning of testing, it's a key that it needs to be addressed before the physical health is looked at, that there's emotional issues, trauma, relationship issues, constellation issues within their family of origin. There's even problems that come in through birth that are in the subconscious that we have to learn about. That's why I spoke for the last few weeks about intention, spirituality, and action. Mm-hmm. How deep do you want to be? How deeply do you want your onion peeled? You see, to really unpeel that onion, you have to get involved with intentionality, spirituality. These are levels of consciousness that affect our energy body. Our energy body affects our health. It's our biofield. It affects neurology. It affects our biome, our gut. Have you noticed that optimum health among the elderly is shortening? I don't mean in age, but we see less robust people these days in their 60s and 70s than ever before. Today, our largest health problem is our relationship to our environment, which nobody's talking about. Our chief concern is our relationship to the earth and the sky. Over the generations, this has brought forward chronic infections, yeast issues, mold, parasites, heavy metals, viruses, retrovirus, Lyme disease in the last 5 years. However, now, having worked with all those people and brought them through all those issues, what we are seeing is that we are treating what they're calling electrosmog, environmental pollution, one of our leading causes of chronic disease. Good research, by the way, a lot of great peer-reviewed journals. Our environment is now affecting our gut, our microbiome. And believe it or not, it's irritating our innate endogenous pathogens. You get that, our innate endogenous pathogens that have kept us healthy for generations, not only in our lifetime, generations. So these endogenous pathogens are being affected by the electrosmog, electropollution. Nobody really gets it yet, okay? It's like a bad movie. It's like a movie.
And with 5G coming too, Peter, it's gonna go to another level.
Absolutely, and governmental weather modification program in place that is raining aluminum on us, the cell phones, the dirty electricity, has now awakened in our microbiome, in our belly, and in our neurology, what's known as retroviruses. And that's something these are viruses that we all have viruses, good ones and bad ones. It's who we are. But these, the bad ones, they're embedded in our DNA for generations. They stay dormant, they do good things. And when they finally become irritated, which is what's happening now in our society, they wake up. And the next thing you know, we're seeing an abundance of new chronic health issues occurring, like leaky gut, fibromyalgia, chronic fatigue, autism. I think they're saying 1 in 3 with kids.
Yeah. And
general cognitive decline. The neurodegenerative, the autoimmune, and the microbiome. Those are the 3 main areas. Neurodegenerative, autoimmune, and microbiome issues, they continue to be the new normal. People are going to the doctors with all these designer diseases as if, I'm on this medication for my Parkinson's and I have early Alzheimer's. It's like the new normal. And it's really pretty scary. But with testing, Jake, developing the proper sequence of treatment, and a good maintenance program to defend against the environment, we can stay ahead of our own destruction. One we are not even aware of as a society. We're dealing with our own destruction. And until we have an intention to empower our own health by creating a fence, if you will, we're in trouble. We need to wake up, everybody.
That's what this is. Why are we doing this tonight? Why are we here, everybody? We're here to elevate and awaken that awareness, to create a community of safe dialogue to talk about this, and to learn actual solutions and takeaways, which is the next phase here. Because we're not just talking doom, gloom, and fear. We're here with Dr. Amato so we can walk away each week with something we can practice and do something for. But you brought something to my attention that I just have to make a comment on regarding the topic. And tomorrow's medicine today. Okay, what does that mean from everything Dr. Amato stated? Well, what we've realized, and many of you may be here this evening, is that that mainstream medicine has a role, yet not in true health care. It has a role in fixing, band-aiding, and disease management. When looking with health, true health, Dr. Amato, as you follow along and join us each week and learn about the pillars of health, the holistic approach is really this future of medicine today. You have to start to integrate these different elements. And Peter, I love how you earlier talked about why we started with those higher dimensional lessons to start off this series. And because if you are stuck somewhere outside in that subconscious, superconscious, the physical won't follow, right? And clearing those paths is an area of focus. And so tomorrow's medicine today is about not just the high-tech technology that Dr. Amato uses, but the approach and the way, the perspective looking at the holistic health of the individual is as well. And so, Peter, take it away, take it to the next level, the next step. And also, I just want to mention, if this is speaking to your heart, if this is touching you in any way, please take advantage of the limited time free discovery call that Dr. Amato is offering. I'm going to post the information here, but there's no obligation. We're not trying to sell you a thing. It's about going deeper if you want it. That's something that's an offer to you. It's limited. It's not going to be available forever. The more attention that people are reaching out, and what's amazing, Dr. Amato, is the need. Gosh, Deanna, I wish I could chat more about it with you right now. By doing these webinars the last couple of weeks, it's been phenomenal, the response. And so we're going to have to start to limit that. But I just wanted to remind people, I'll remind them again, that opportunity is available to them to simply give you a resource to further along your questions, your journey, to see if a consultation's right or a transformational retreat, or to see what else there is. But tonight, just enjoy and relax. And Dr. Amato, Peter, please take it away and continue on with your takeaway. I just wanted to add that before we got any further, especially for people who may need to leave a little early. So.
Absolutely great, Jake, and it makes perfect sense to me, everything you said, really, really grounded. And to be honest, the medical model, works in isolation and is reductionist. It has only ever been designed to treat the symptoms. So it doesn't take a holistic approach of why one thing would affect something else. Where, my years of practice and study with the masters all around the world, particularly the German medicine, traditional Chinese medicine, Ayurveda from India, where everything is taken into consideration. Mind, spirit, and environment right from the start, not just parts and pieces, not just organs, glands, and systems, holistic. So beyond our current model of drugs and surgery, beyond even alternative medicine, or beyond choosing a vitamin, an herbal tincture, or a homeopathic, And even beyond blood work, someone mentioned about blood work. Well, guess what? The problems we have don't even exist in our blood. Okay? So blood work is just kind of a waste of time for the most part. And the way the parameters are even designed in blood work, for the most part, are just built to sell pharmaceuticals. They don't have any basis on whole system approach. So we've now reached a pinnacle in natural health where we can easily identify root cause and symptom. Not only that, we understand the hierarchy of peeling that onion for that individual and offering the synergistic remedies that eradicate most all health issues. This is by asking the body what it wants, not by reading a book or going to school. You know, I'd spent 10 years in college learning all about natural health, but at the end of the day, your body tells me what it wants and what it needs. So the takeaway tonight for optimizing your physical health, believe it or not, make your bedroom into a sanctuary. Now, healing happens between 11 at night and 3 in the morning. Okay? So that's when any nutraceuticals, supplements, pharmaceuticals, anything that you're taking, that's when it does its inner work. So to make your bedroom a sanctuary, you could do certain things. We talk about electropollution and smog. The Wi-Fi router, everybody, is a big deal. If you could unplug it at night or put a timer on it, if you can hit the breaker in the fuse box, whatever you can do to eliminate that. You could take as many measures as you want. There's Stetzer filters you could put in your receptacles. You can get almost like a mosquito net to place over your bed. There's different things. Do a little research online, and there's a lot of inexpensive things you could do. And one good tip is to, if it's possible, to face your head towards the east. If we could ever sleep in that position, you'll notice that you sleep better. Most of all, no cell phone in the room. Not even turned off, but not even in the room. Night for Tomorrow's Medicine Today.
Lovely. Beautiful takeaway. And I think even the conscious aware people need a reminder of that too, to do that, because of just the attachment we have to our devices and to staying connected. So because you've taught us over the weeks that, and I've learned from some of my other mentors, Peter, that the healing really takes place when you recover, rest, and the in between the breaths, in between when you're recovering. And that's a huge grounding commitment. There's something I have to say too. You talked about the pharmaceuticals. They understand the psychological, mental attachment and relationship to wellness. Think about the commercials, Peter, that they sell, and talking about the pharmaceuticals. They're selling directly to the consumer with an emotional attachment, right? But it's attached to a physical label, and they're understanding the psychology of it, hoping that you are going like a lemur to go and ask for that. It's pretty amazing. So the wake up call tonight is that there's other answers there, and I want to invite people to call and to have a free discovery call with us here tonight, or tomorrow. You can call anytime, 24 hours a day. The number is 570-558-7450. That's 570-558-7450. And I'll post it here in the chat too. But Peter, how would you like to close tonight, this evening? Please take it away.
Well, if there's no questions, I'm looking here. There's some good things in the chat here. Yeah, the chemtrails are there. We see them every morning, and it was good news. We posted it a few weeks ago. We talked about it, even in legal documents from the government that.
Oh yeah.
So we need to pray for ourselves, for others. We need to have an intention. We need to investigate tomorrow's medicine today. So let's just close our eyes and briefly kind of sign off, and I hope you gathered some good information this evening. I see how everybody can just drop anything anymore. Love it. Half smile. Breathe the whole body in. Breathe the whole body in, and breathe the whole body out. All pores breathe. Check in on that intention. Foster it. Follow up on it. Be curious. Change at your own pace. Okay. Relax the eyes open. Love you all. See you next week. Be in touch. Namaste.